in real estate, I always say, like, no one ever dies during a real estate transaction. Like, agents can feel nervous about an escrow situation.
Sometimes it feels like you're gonna die.
But it's not they're not heart surgeons, and no one's ever gonna die during a transaction. So it's calm down, get back to making your contacts, and you can handle the escrow immediately after. So it's every morning focusing on making your contacts. And that's your only non-negotiable. And after you make your contacts, you start to track your ratios. So how many calls am I making? Out of all the calls I'm making, how many are leading to contacts? Out of those contacts, how many are leading to appointments? Out of those appointments, how many are converting to listings or buyer-broker agreements signed? And then once you get a listing, how many of those listings are actually selling or working with the buyer? How many of those buyers are buying? And by doing that process, you're able to identify gaps in your business. So for instance, if you're great at making all of your contacts, but you're not getting the appointment, what I would do as a real estate coach at that point is say, you need to work on your scripts to get the appointment. Or maybe you're great at making contacts to get the appointment, but then during the appointment, you're not getting the listing. Then I might want to look at your listing presentation. So what the Hustler's Hand Guide for Real Estate Agents does is it helps you, like it's a self-discovery tool, an accountability tool to do your contacts and then identify the gaps in your business.
It's almost like a blueprint.
Yeah.
And if you stick to the blueprint.
Yeah, just follow the recipe.
Right.
Just make your contacts.
What made you want to create something like this?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. Were you not following your own advice?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It has to do with control, and it feels in our industry that you have a lot more control than you do, but you ultimately don't. And when I boiled it down and ultimately realized the only thing we control is the contacts and really inspiring and influencing people to sit down with us, why would I focus on anything else I can't control? I want to spend the 80% of my time in the place I can control.
Got it.
And I also want to know when I've made enough. Like 20 contacts in a day is a lot of contacts. So I'm toying with the idea of initially having agents do it over 20 contacts. And then once their business gets into a momentum phase, then moving to 10 contacts, but implementing more systems like CRM systems. So
what motivates you to do all this? I mean, what does motivate you?
That's a great question.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. What makes you say, I want to get
Yeah, so I'm really passionate about the educational piece within real estate. I see that 85% failure rate, and it's the same statistic as going to open up a restaurant. 1 in 10 will make it.
Right.
And I'm like, why is this happening? We've got all these people who really want to be in this industry. They're taking the courses through a real estate school like Cal Realty trainers. They get their license and then they're failing out. So I want to make it as simple as possible to really help people accomplish their goals in this industry. And then let's say they're making their contacts every day. Let's say they're doing all the activities and ultimately it doesn't align with their values or they're just not feeling it. They're not, they tried this industry, it's not for them.
Right.
Then that's fine. But I think we have a lot of people that could have been really successful in this industry that bowed out early because they didn't have like the proper training, education, tools, and systems.
Right. Now, those who bow out early, I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think coaching would help them?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I wanted to go into the coaching department here with you.
Yeah.
You have a coach and you are a coach.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
So
how important is coaching? I mean, if I was lacking motivation, Johnny, on a serious note, if I really want this career to happen, and I start to lack motivation because things aren't happening as quick as I wanted them to, does a coach come in and say, come on, man?
Well, they can, So there's coaches for different things.
What does a coach do?
A coach helps you be a better version of yourself.
Okay. Does that involve motivation?
It can involve motivation, yes. It could also, my coach I'm learning about the skill set of being a better out-of-state real estate investor right now, and there's also a motivational component, kind of as needed, depending on what I'm going through. Because sometimes in this industry there is a lot of rejection, and it's really nice to be able to bounce that off of a coach and have them rally behind you and encourage you and support you. And see if there's something you could have done differently to better influence the conversations you're having out there. But yeah, coaching is one of those things where I think everybody needs a coach. I look at somebody like a Tom Brady, and not only does he have Bill Belichick as his football coach, but he's got a nutritionist and he's got a trainer, and I'm sure he has a coach for every aspect of his life. And if I could afford it, I think I'd have a coach in every aspect of my life also.
What do you enjoy about coaching?
It's really fulfilling seeing somebody that's got the talent and just needs the tools, and then seeing them like take off and fly. I can't really describe what it is inside of me but there's something so fulfilling about that like service-based model of like feeding into somebody and then seeing them go into fruition.